Okay, I think firstly that community psychology speaks of different communities and communities within communities, and how online knowledge ecologies would fit into that is that it's a space where knowledge is shared, and that is what community is about. You know, it's a space where there's social interaction, and in this sense, of course, it's not, you know, a face-to-face kind of interaction, but it's on a virtual level. But online communities offer other communities within the same communities. So you have people that are grouped because of shared interest and common interest, and that is what community psychology, well, that is how, you know, we try to define communities. What are communities? Because it's not based on a geographic location, it's not based on, you know, tangible things. So I think that knowledge ecologies obviously is where knowledge is being shared, and online spaces sort of offer that, you know, that you can reach a broader population. You are able to speak to people that are far from you. Of course, there are pros and cons of virtual spaces, but I think what I enjoy most is that even community psychology itself happens within online spaces. So those are, you know, it's the different elements that we can marry within that space. And what I was saying by communities within that community is that you may have people who are on a certain social platform who are community psychology students, for example. So not only are they an online community, we term them like that, but they are a community psychology group of students. So they have shared interests within that same community. So I think that's where it comes, and we usually speak about that online, community psychology sort of happens in university spaces, and how we share knowledge even within universities is through online spaces. So there's a circle of information moving around within that same space, and it speaks to one another. And as Unisa, obviously, as an online university, that is where knowledge happens. So I think that's how it fits, going back to the original question, that's how it fits into community psychology.
I think there are two aspects that I would break down. One is how psychology affects technology and how technology affects psychology in itself, because I think technology does not only affect how we think, how we behave, and how we feel, but we also dictate where technology goes. And I just have two scenarios just to break it down. And one is how technology has made it easier for us to do certain things. I'm just thinking at the back of my mind how the banking sector has evolved by technology, how people used to be anxious when doing banking online, but how technological tools have been used in the banking sector to make people to feel a bit less anxious, and how technology has been used to create online communities for banking, for an example. And technology itself has brought people together, for an example, in business settings, where it has also affected the business thinking, the shift. People are more inclined to be entrepreneurs than going and working from 8 to 4. And while on the other side, it has also shaped things that we think about. So it's does not only shape how we think, but aspects and content of what we think about. We look at how social media and Facebook influence our day-to-day thinking processes, and what kind of topics do we think about, what kind of concepts that we can relate and think about. But also, we as human beings have shaped how technology develops itself, not only by being behind the scenes of technology, but how we think about technology. And we have also changed what aspects technology should focus on. So technology has been more on needs driven in a certain community to address certain challenges in a certain community, and this information seeking tendencies have also shaped what kind of technology we have to use in our communities. So it's quite of a, like you've said, it's a system on its own. We affect technology, but also technology affects us, and we keep responding, and it's a more of an interaction kind of thing.
Okay, so online knowledge ecologies. Knowledge ecologies have got something in common with communities as much as it has got something in common with technology itself. Because communities and technologies are both entities that are not static, meaning that they are forever developing and going forward. You look at technology from the 21st century, you compare it with technology from, say, the 1900s, you will realize that we have evolved quite a lot. Communities are like that as well. Communities evolve quite a lot. Now, with regards to the ecologies that this information shares, is that information is readily accessible, which is something that is different from the past. Previously, for somebody to acquire information, they had to go to the libraries to solicit that information, but now accessibility is quite free, it's quite easy. But now, who are the users of this information? And my question would be, how authentic is that information? What are the benefits that we derive from such information? And then, whilst this information is being shared publicly and communities have got a way of grasping through that knowledge, it is important to also find out whether that information is authentic, whether that information has been verified, because information is freely available. Anybody can write anything about whatever. So the information that gets to the communities, it is information that we also need to make sure that it is credible, it is authentic, and it reaches a lot of people.